All right. We are live. Let's go. I am Crumb Chocolate. This is Sharpie Charlie. We are Shades of Blue. This is the motherfucking lit stream. I just wanted to curse immediately. Honestly, don't know. Maybe FanFest Live wants us to be like PG, but I don't know. They
But
also
wait,
know.
let's be real. Have they ever told you that in
No, that's
writing?
what I'm saying. They're always so
Okay, so we
great and
assume it.
delightful. Yeah,
And I
right.
think fans in the title, they know we're a little fanatic. They know what
Yes,
they signed up for.
yes.
We call it a lit stream for a reason. So I think we can be lit.
And the kickoff shows we're nice. We're PG. We're Disney, but
It's
it's
late.
late
It's
night.
dark.
It's
It's
late.
dark
It's
across the country now.
vibes. We
You
out
know.
here. We out here. But I just wanted to curse now to get it out of the way to let our guests know you can relax. You can have some fun. You can curse. You can.
Fuck
Uh,
it.
oh man, Sharpie, how are you? How are things?
Things are really good, man. Finishing up tomorrow finishes up week 3. My first year teaching out
Hey.
here in DC. Shouts to Cap City Blues. It's just been a really great month so far. So here's the thing. Selfishly, I love fall. It's the best season of the year because my birthday is 10 days after the start of fall on October 3rd.
Mm,
We'll post all Cash App, Venmo, Apple Pay information on Twitter. Don't worry about it.
naturally, of course.
But but yeah, man. So just building up to that new iPhone release tomorrow, pre-order tomorrow. So this is my season. I'm excited, bro. And City's coming back. Come on, let's be real. City is back this weekend.
Uh,
That 1 week without it hurts. It's different. So it's nice that we Saturday morning we'll be ready.
it's last week. I mean, well, thankfully there is the Rugby World Cup. I've been watching that. That's been nice. That's been holding me over, tied me over. It just doesn't hit the same. Like cheering on City, the international games, they're fun to watch, I guess, but I don't know. It just doesn't hit the same. But it's nice to have our teams back, be able to chat with some people. I'm actually DT3 was supposed to be our first guest, and he was communicating this morning, and now he's missing in action, and I'm a
He
little
had
worried
just
about it more
said
than
something in
anything.
the he here.
Oh,
Yeah, he here.
oh,
He said
oh, he's
something in the
here.
thing.
Oh, I'm
Yeah, I think
sorry.
yeah.
Chat. I don't have it open. I'm
Oh
here.
yeah.
That's weird. I'll send the invite. I don't know why you didn't pop in. Here we go. I sent you the invite. Hey,
Hey. And shout out to
let's
Jennifer.
Oh, hey.
go.
How you guys doing?
DT3. Oh my goodness. Hello, sir. It's
I
very
said I had to
nice.
do a quick wardrobe change because actually it was wearing the same thing as Sharpie, and I was like, wait a minute, we look like twins. It's not bad, obviously, but
Yeah.
a little different shade
Mix
of
it up a
city.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
A different shade.
great. Oh man. Um it's great to see you in person. We chat so much through socials and stuff like
My
that.
gosh, yeah.
And I've seen the occasional photo or the video of you for one of the Henny Derbies earlier,
Oh yeah.
and I saw you. And technically, I think you actually said your name, so I didn't know if it was you for sure. So I was just like, is that is that is that
See,
is he a
I
part?
guess it's like
Does he know those people?
See,
I
I'm
was so
like,
confused.
I think I'm like that old version of Twitter where I'm still like just on here to play around, but I'm like I'll never don't just always put my like full government out there. But my name's Daniel Tatum. I don't know the people that know me, so it's like not even that big a deal.
You
But
didn't
yeah,
have to do all that. You didn't have to put your government out.
I pop up occasionally. So let folks know there's a real person behind the handle, and of course met Sharpie for the Crystal Palace, the movie theater match. Got to run into each other.
Yes.
Like that was super random. I think I just started listening to the podcast. So yeah, I am a real person.
Man, this is great. We normally start our conversation off before we start a topic, Sharpie and I, and we didn't really do that. This is what happens when him and I haven't seen each other for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, no,
we get all excited and chat. I was just gonna say we can just start with your topics because you gave us multiple. Sorry, that's the podcasting in me is the pivot. You lead, you think I'm gonna go somewhere, and then I'm just like go somewhere else.
Right, yeah.
So your first question is, do you enjoy club play our national team play more. I guess we kind of talked about that earlier and at the beginning is we both I guess I don't want to speak for Sharpie, but I prefer the club over national. And then Sharpie, I guess, give your opinion. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it, DT3, because you are a very solid supporter of women's football. And the way that I feel is technically I don't care much about the men's side, and that's just because there's just so much nonsense going on there. And the women, they win. The characters are great. I'm not saying the men's characters aren't great, but I just very much enjoy the women's personas and stuff like that. So it evens it out. So I guess I wouldn't say, because I'm like all in for Man City, men and women, but the national team, it's kind of like men and women. So it kind of evens out.
Yeah. Yes. Do you want to comment on that, Charlie, or I can go?
I'll go ahead and comment, and then you can kind of tie us up. I think as he's talking, I'm seeing both sides of it in my own like interest, because when the U.S. women's national team is playing, I am the most patriotic I ever am. Like, I am red, white, and blue. These colors don't run. Red meat American.
Don't tread on me.
Don't you dare tread on me, goddammit. How dare you try to walk over me? But it's, I mean, in the right tournaments, it hits different, right? Like the World Cup is different. When you are in, even as a U.S. men's national team fan, when it's like Nations League and you're going against Mexico and you want to keep the streak going, you start speaking in Spanish, right? Dos acero, tres acero, like we just start having a great time out here. But the level of football can't be matched from club. Like club is different because everybody's at the highest level. They play the most together. So I think just as a pure product, club football is more enjoyable to me. I'll say that. What about you, DC3?
Yeah, it's so funny because I mean, I was super into the Women's World Cup, of course, but I think, and of course, like my initial entryway into football was going through the lens of U.S. men's national team, U.S. women's national team, and then it was like, oh, they do play in between sometimes. You try to
they have other teams,
you know, but especially as a kind of like followed City more and got more into the club side, our feelings have started to shift. And where it's like now, I'll be honest, on the men's side, of course, you know, you keep up with the ongoings or the goings on, but like my biggest concern, at least on the men's side, is I don't want them to get hurt.
Yep, I knew it. I knew you were going to say.
when Rodri was playing for Spain in the Nations League, like a week after, you know, they won the treble, I was like, wait, what's going on here? And it's like, you know, and obviously, you know, club and country is super important to players, you know, not speaking on that, but just as a fan, I'm like, yeah, come on back to City so we can take care of you. And then on the women's side, I do find it still find national play enjoyable because there's still so many countries and players in countries that I just have not been exposed to for whatever reason. So you're still like finding out new players who, you know, uncovered gems and all that. But even with this World Cup, I was still very much like, how are the City women doing? Okay, can we make this work on the WSL side? What's going on? So that was my thing. It was like, I mean, the countries, they are what they are. And of course, same thing with US. Like, I think even that, like, I watch a lot of NWSL, go to all Angel City matches. So it's like you just have that huge familiarity with the U.S. team, of course, and you want them to do well. But yeah, I was still like, yeah, I'm pumped up for the club season to come back now because everybody's coming off the World Cup and hot. So it's like, even for my kind of journey as a fan, it's almost completely flipped. So that's why I'm just kind of curious to hear other thoughts and perspectives. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and people in the chats, let us know, how do you feel about do you prefer your club? Do you prefer your national? I know there aren't just Americans in here. People who are watching this after, whether it's on YouTube or whatnot, put it in the comments. Let us know. I loved seeing comments post. I see lots of people watch this stuff after, which honestly, that makes my heart swim. That is people still just like, hey, I missed it, but I still want to watch it because I fuck with the vibes. So that's always very nice. I mean, you said all. I can't really go against anything that you say. I really with you with all of it. I would love to keep it going to the Baby Blue Baddies, though. What is expectations and predictions do you have for the Baby Blue Baddies for the 23-24 season? DT3, let's start back with you.
So, and that's where I'll be honest. The World Cup got me even more hyped for this upcoming WSL season. I got my fresh, brand new bunny.
Let's go.
And it just like so. And I was looking again. So we had 14 city players represented at the World Cup. Yeah. I'll throw in Haley Rosso is honorary 15 since she hadn't played for the new team just yet. She was still coming out of the city. But it's like so much talent, and obviously just seeing their different roles as they play for their country and what they do there, and kind of a little more, just different dynamics, and kind of seeing what they're capable of in different areas, different pressures. So now I'm just like, I know club and country is not all the same, just, as Charlie alluded to, but I really I hope, I'm optimistic that some of that will rub off back into the club play, and they'll just come back hungrier, rested, in shape, just ready to go. And they already seem to have like great camaraderie. We see little videos and clips and stuff. And even when they played each other at the World Cup, a lot of the embraces and the meeting with each other before match, after match. So I think they're going to finish top 3 and win either the FA Cup or the Conti Cup.
Ooh,
I'm going to still give Chelsea number 1 because I don't know about that monster right there.
It's different.
But I think the magic number to get in the top 3 is going to be 51 or 50, and I think the women will hit that right on the mark, slide in there 3rd, maybe 2nd if Arsenal falls back a little bit. But I think they're going to be a little bit better and close out the season a little bit stronger than they did this year.
Who's 2nd?
I'm still giving it to Arsenal. That's the only compliment I'm going to give that club is on the women's side. I think, at least with them, I think they are getting some folks back that were missing last year. Even if it's not the start, they may come in a little bit later. I will say, just on the intangible side, I was impressed with how they kind of rallied last year, even with all the injuries and changes. They figured it out. They even got a trophy themselves in the process. Got to the semis of Champions League. Got to extra time, I believe, in the second leg. They just literally ran out of bodies, but they still found a way to push and come through. And I think that'll still kind of be there this year, I assume. But I think we'll get a little bit better too, and we'll get out a couple more wins, turn a couple losses into draws, and get those points to keep us up top.
Every time this question comes up, I think of Tom. Shout out to Tom Baum.
Shout out to Tom.
Because Tom and I are like literally always opposed.
See, I'm not trying to say that man's name. I'm not going to say
you ain't got to say his name. I will. It's on Gareth Taylor. It's a make or break season, right? Like, he has to be top 3. Like, that is the bare minimum because he has a 1-year contract extension. You have to earn your keep. And so if he does not get top 3, he knows he's gone. The players knows he's gone. And also, Niels Nielsen isn't messing around. He's not afraid to go bring in reinforcements and find talent and maybe do something different if he feels a position is weaker. Yeah. So I really think, and I'm going to put pressure on the English players. I think it's on Chloe Kelly, Lauren, I say Kim, put it together. Kelly and him. Like, they have to score. They do so much great work progressing the ball, getting in crosses. But when the crosses go to the other, very rarely do they find the back of the net. Like, Bunny's gap between her goals and the next highest player was too high. There has to be more from them. Dana Castellanos has to get more time in her natural position. She has to contribute with goals. I love what Engeldahl did last year, always providing some big finishes. Yui, the Jill Ward signing, Crunk and I was talking about this early. Her being able to play as a 6 and let Yui do what she does as a real 8, that could unlock our whole team. Like, her moving further up the pitch could really be transformational and help those wingers and help the whole front line do better. So I'm going to predict that we finish 2nd And I'm saying
Let's
like
go.
I'm saying like 1 or 2 points higher than Arsenal. I love Arsenal like
Gotcha.
talent. Like they have Mead and Miedema coming back. They got Alexia Russo. Like they got some dogs. Like they got talent, and I'm gonna respect it. So I'm gonna say it's gonna be a tough fight for number 2. But Chelsea's in a different stratosphere, right? Chelsea's
Right.
like the Man
Yeah,
City.
they're out of here.
When you just throw in Cat Macario for fun, and you're just like, oh, let's go get Ashley Lawrence to make our best defense
And
in
the
the league even
official?
better.
See, that's
Come on,
bullying. That's bullying.
It's not fair. It's really
That's
bullying.
bullying.
And so, that woman, she knows what she's doing, and she's great at her job. And so they are going to be the champions unless literally. Oh, and Lauren James, my bad. And in case everybody. Oh, Sam Kerr too. Like it's scary. They actually scare me.
Writing?
And so when we beat them last year, that was the highlight of my season. Like we had that win on the live stream. I was like, oh my god, we did it. We did it. So I went long, but I'm gonna go City number 2. What you got, Crump?
I predicted City 2 at the end of last season, I believe, in our show, and I'm just trusting the process.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Arsenal are going to struggle with the players coming back in. I guess them not having to worry about the Champions League might help, but I know that hurt us, I think, last season because we weren't playing enough matches, I think, to keep our players hot. So I think maybe that could be potential problem for Arsenal because with trying to play players back into shape and into continuity, it's going to be tough when now you're missing out on a whole bunch of extra matches, especially within the group stage. I'm sure they assumed they would go through on that pretty easily, and that would be able to help to sub people in late in matches and stuff like that. Yeah. Second. Chelsea's just out there in the world with it. Last thing before we get you out of here.
Yeah.
It's on the top of the docket for this week of matches. Which team in the top 7 will lose in this match day 5? So I will go through the matches. There's Man City versus West Ham, and that's first against 4th. Tottenham versus Sheffield. Liverpool versus Wolves. Arsenal versus Everton. Brighton versus Man United. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
I was thinking long and hard about this. But in a part of me, there's a part on Tottenham where I don't know if I believe it yet, just because I've seen James Maddison have these purple patches at Leicester, but I'm gonna need to see it for full 38. But putting that aside, it's always nice to see a team in red lose. So I'm gonna call for Everton to upset Arsenal.
Oh my god, that's a mystery. There we go.
Crazier things have happened.
I'm fanning you off.
Now, if we get Wolves beating Liverpool too, I mean, I'm not gonna be greedy, but if we get Arsenal drop some more points, gotta knock them down a little bit. There we go.
I'm walking around my house if both of those happen that way.
But plus, they need to be humbled. They've been talking too much. Ever since they signed Declan Rice and all that. They got all this hope again. And I'm like, y'all already forgot what happened earlier this calendar year. Come on. I'm going to have to root for Everton. That's going to feel weird, but whatever. As long as City wins, that's number 1. Then Arsenal lose, that's number 2. Good weekend.
And the thing about Arsenal that annoys me, because multiple Arsenal fans have told me this, is our whole thing is built off of the Man City philosophy. So, and I feel like they're saying that to trick their own brains into thinking this is the right thing to do and that they should win, which is why they are coming at everybody so boisterously, because if they're following City's recipe, why would they not win?
Right.
But I don't think they are. And that whole conversation is a whole other conversation that we can have at another time and day. But DT3, truly appreciate you so much. You're an amazing human. We appreciate having you a part of Shady Gang. And I would love for you to plug yourself, plug your Twitter account, anything you're up to if you want to, or if not, you
Oh
can
my
just
gosh.
disappear in a smoke bomb.
I am my job is very, very boring. I tweet a lot. I just comment. Sorry about that. I don't do anything.
real
I'll
phone.
just be
That's
lurking in
crazy.
the comments and the replies. But if anyone gets bored, of course, I'm just the big joker on X or Twitter, whatever we're calling it these days. It's DABIGJ0KER. And yeah, I'll be tweeting during the city matches and see what happens, laughing at other people losing and then being happy when we win and collect points. So there we go.
That's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
So good to see you, bro.
Yeah,
Yes.
you too.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
take it easy now.
Man, okay, now that it's just as again, I still want to commiserate about Gabby George to United.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it. It happened. I'm gonna show it, Crump.
In fact, I'm gonna just say it right now. I want Niels Nielsen fired. Like this is
For those that don't know, this is who we're talking about right here. He used to play at Everton and now is a Man United player. Apparently, Withenshaw is her home. A girl from Withenshaw living her dream. That's wonderful. I don't know what it is.
I know.
Yeah, that was
right?
her caption. You know, you got it. I didn't care to Google it. But congrats to you and not to Man United. And here's the thing, guys. I'm just gonna be selfish. Just like the women can fawn over Grealish and Haaland and Rodri and Diaz, I fawn over players as well. And as a cishet male, Gab George is really high on that I'm a fawn over you list. Lord, what a beautiful.
And she's an athlete, so I think I could
athlete.
fade into her arms and she'd catch me. Like it worked. It worked.
I trust the traps. I trust the biceps.
I'm the damsel in distress here.
My heart goes out. My heart cries. I feel like Jay-Z. I'm making this song cry right now.
I pulled up Instagram and it just refreshed, and that was the first thing. And immediately I just sent to you, no. Just like
that really happened, guys. It was sad. Like
no.
All I can wish her is that she's healthy. All I wish her is health. I don't wish you good performances. I wish you health.
At all. Like, unfortunately, especially because you went to United. Like,
even United. That's all I got for you.
Want to get to a few of these chats. Adam was saying Villa women, they're gonna be very tough this season, which yeah. And then but Bunny, I definitely think she's gonna take the World Cup, and what she did for that, it's gonna be great. And then Arsenal losing. I love it. And this is great. It's time to bring on our next guest, Mr. Nichols Nicholsolodian. I've been trying to practice that all day. I'm just like, how do I Nicholsolodian? And I know it's Nickelodeon, but I'm trying to respect the name Nicholsolodian. I'm getting there. Maybe by the end of it, I'll land it. How's it going, sir?
What's up, man? What's up? That was pretty close. I say it Nicholsodian. I don't know if that helps, but yeah. So my name is Nichols, so
Yes.
Yeah.
Nicholsodian.
Yeah. We worked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only nice thing I can say about that color you're wearing. That's a dope shirt.
It's amazing.
That's heritage. I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. I got to shout out my roommate here. It's amazing what you'll find at a thrift store at the right Goodwill. Yeah, this is a Centennial one too.
Oh man,
05 one.
Yeah. Oh, do you think the person turned it in when Chelsea was sold? Or I guess when did you get it? Is that?
I got this. When did you get this to me? A couple years ago. Okay. I don't know, man. It's like I said, it's crazy what people will give away to the Goodwill, especially in terms of football gear. But
right.
Yeah, but that's enough of the niceties.
There we go. Let's get to it.
Also, I don't know if we can plug drinks on here, but I got my Blue Moon.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have a Paloma in here, a double.
Oh
yeah.
I don't have any of that. I had some ginger ale. I had some really good Wegmans organic strawberry lemonade.
Organic. Okay, bougie. Okay.
Hey now. We keep it healthy over
We
here.
got that Trader Joe's.
You know, we're gonna go to we're gonna go get a little something after this. I was like, let me just wait, a little nighttime.
Look at you.
Nightcap,
Well, the area where I live, I don't want to go to any of those nighttime bars. All there are just like dive bars in this area. And it's not even like the fun ones. It's super intense. But Mark, let's chat about you. How did you? And actually, shout out to the homie Adam, because he loves hearing people's football origin stories. So and you put it in here. How you became a Chelsea fan? So fill us in. Let us know.
Yeah. So I was born in Trinidad, and I moved to Virginia when I was almost 11. Growing up in Trinidad, I wasn't really much of a football fan, actually. Even though like Dwight York played for United, a lot of Arsenal fans as well. But for me, it wasn't until Trinidad made it to the World Cup in 2006, and that kind of got my interest going with FIFA. And like that World Cup. And I remember in particular, I remember watching England. They were talking about like Terry and Lampard. They kind of mentioned that Trinidad was playing Ukraine, and they mentioned that Shevchenko had just signed for Chelsea on a record deal. And I knew Shevchenko was from FIFA. So I was kind of like, okay. But 2007, I started college, and that was, I'm going to date myself here. That was the first time I'd experienced like cloud Wi-Fi, basically. Like and high-speed internet, and that was the first time like I had my own laptop, so I was able to stream games. And this is way before like these the streaming setup the way it is now, right? You had the old ESPN3 and all that. So Chelsea a lot of times was the team that was featured, on one of those streams. So started watching them a little more, and it was like I didn't know anybody at that time who was a Chelsea fan. Like I knew, like I said, Man U, Arsenal, obviously like Real, Barca, the big Italian teams. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hold down Chelsea in my clique. And that first year actually ended with them making it to the Champions League final and losing on the Terry slipping on that penalty. So from day one, actually, I'll never forget.
Wait. You said Terry, you like trailed off. So what happened to Terry? What did Terry do?
Oh, sorry. No, when he slipped, when he missed that penalty. So he was.
So honestly, I knew I just was being the worst.
Oh yeah, throw my beer. Oh wow, that's what time we're on. Okay,
welcome to the Let's Stream.
That was hilarious. I was like, wait, we all know what happened. I wasn't watching football.
I was like, is my mic working? What? Okay, all right, that was good. That was good. You filed that one away.
Mark, I gotta ask you, what part of Virginia did you move to?
Woodbridge, so like Northern Virginia.
Okay, because I'm actually living up here in Alexandria now, but I'm from Norfolk, so like born and raised in Virginia. Yeah.
Okay, so I know exactly where you. Yeah. That's what's up. I went to high school in Alexandria, actually.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
Norfolk.
You heard it. Right?
Yeah, right. Like
right.
the area came out of you when you said that. I was like, oh, okay.
I will never ever intentionally say Norfolk. You don't pronounce both. Most of the times, either nor and a fuck or a nah and a fuck. Like you got to pick one. If you say Norfolk, you the ops. Like that's when you are working in one of these federal places. Norfolk. Come on, bro. Anyways, back to Mark. Back to Chelsea, ESPN3, and all that. Yeah. Great times.
Yeah, man. So I was gonna say one of my first memories of following Chelsea. You remember that old ESPN soccer website, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember going on there and seeing Jose Mourinho quits. It was like early. It was like the fall of 2007. The season had just started, and he just pieced out. And I was like, is that normal? That doesn't seem normal. And I really, little did I know, that was setting the precedent of what the next 15 plus years would be like. So, but
you have some victories in there though. How's that?
Yeah.
I mean, other than the chaos, there's success.
A lot of trophies, a lot of silverware. Yeah. Not Arsenal, let's say that.
And a lot of unexpected success too. I mean, like you could say both Champions Leagues. I would say we could definitely talk about that. what was I gonna say? The last Premier League title. Actually, Pep's first year. You know, it was all the hype about Pep at City and Mourinho at United, and then here comes Conte's Chelsea out of nowhere. And yeah. But again, little did I know that would be the last for a while. So you know,
Pep hated that squad so much. Like by the end of that season, you could see the disgust he had on certain players. There were certain players he just wouldn't look at. It was bad. It was real bad. That was I remember being like being able to sense that while I was watching TV, and that was when I guess things started clicking, and that was when I was realizing I was into them. But it was just like, oh, and looking back on the squads and some of the team players we had and the teams we had, it's just like the fact that we did those things with that squad. But it's shout out to Pep, but also shout out to you guys for winning it, I guess.
Well, you can't still be mad about that. Come on now.
Hey, I hate Luton Town for them relegating us back in I don't even remember when.
Yeah, right.
But I still am talking smack about them. So Crunk petulance knows no bounds. Time is not real. So I can hate from whenever.
Yeah.
Okay. What Bowley and company are trying to replicate from City Football Group? Okay. What do you mean by that?
More about it. What we got?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've obviously come in sort of with a bang, and it's what they're doing is considered controversial for a lot of people, but especially Chelsea fans, right?
Your contracts.
Yeah, that kind of, I guess, ripping up what's been there before, selling some of the homegrown players, and kind of just, I guess, doing things, I would say more modernizing things than anything else. For example, I think that one of the biggest keys to City's success has been the two directors. I always forget how to say their names, but
Kiki and
Omar Parada.
Oh, those two,
yeah. I'm assuming that that's still the original two they brought in before Pep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that they had directors of football long before other English teams did. That used to be like a European thing, and then City brought it, kind of brought that structure and brought Pep into that. And I think that a big part of that was, obviously that was a big part of the reason of why Pep took that job, but I think he saw a more stable situation at City. It was always rumored that Abramovich wanted Pep, and you look at the times when he changed teams. So he took that sabbatical in 2012, 2013. Chelsea finished that season with an interim coach. I'm sure they would have liked to bring in Pep for 2014, and they instead brought Mourinho back. Or no, 2013 is when they brought him. But yeah. And then when he was before he joined City, again, Chelsea ended up bringing in Conte, but I'm sure they would have liked to bring in Pep. But I just think, what you saw, even though it brought some success, what you saw was we'd cycle through managers and we get those managers players. And then that's how last year happens, where you have this bloated squad, this mishmash of new players and players have been there for years. A lot of different types of players, yet there's still imbalance in the squad somehow, having no real six prior to this transfer window. So, I think there's that aspect of it. Just, I think that there's a lot of reasons for City success, the way they've used data, obviously they're recruiting. It certainly helps to have a Pep, right?
Yeah.
But for people who say that it's because of the money, that's just, to me, that's a lazy argument, because there are examples right there of teams that have spent similarly and not had success. Most notably Manchester United, but others as well. I mean, Chelsea, even ever since I would say the last Premier League title, the success hasn't quite been the same. So.
I mean, Nottingham Forest, I'll say that again over and over again. They spent almost $400 million in the last couple of years, and you see where they are and what they're doing.
Exactly. You know, like they're still kind of battling right with relegation, even.
Yeah.
You know, so
Crazy.
yeah, I think it's that, and then obviously the you know the whole multi-club structure thing. Although you know, I from the outside looking in, I don't necessarily see like players going, I guess, through the levels or going from team to team within City Football Group. It more seems like separate entities. I don't know. Would
No,
It's
you're
the only one that really stands out is Tati Castellanos. He came from MLS at NYCFC, went to Girona in La Liga, and actually has played pretty well. Had a hat trick last year against Real Madrid, which was crazy. But I think a lot of the smaller deals, like you might get Brazilians that'll end up moving over.
where
I
there's
think
like Kaiki at Bahia.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
Kaique
Kaiki.
Bahia.
He's
So like
there.
you start like I think now we're in the process like, oh, we can loan out to our own people.
Yeah.
If we
Mhm.
choose to from city and like move them out. But just I think once you get a foothold in a country, you start to see the talent there. And I think that's where the football group paradigm is so helpful because you are
Mhm.
scouting literally the entire world and you're not just saying like, oh, let's just go watch Portugal and try to get all the Portuguese players from that league. You know, we want to see anybody and everybody and then try to catch them young and flip them. Like we're actually in a way, I always give credit to how Chelsea ran it back when you all in your heyday, when you
Mhm.
had by far the best youth system, right? Your teams
Mhm.
had all that talent. And so I always talk on the show about you can't keep them all.
Yeah,
Like we see
agreed.
that. Cole Palmer would love
Yeah,
to keep him, but if somebody like you all, thank you, wants to pay 40 million, please take him best
right.
of luck number 20 for Chelsea. Like, and you gotta flip it. And so I think that's how you keep the business going. And so it's actually, I think, kind of like a nice mirror in clubs, right? Like we're
Mhm.
trying to do what you all did in your heyday. You all are
Mhm.
trying to follow us in a certain way with different variations. Like we've never spent the way you all have, right?
Right.
Bowley's different. He's on a different level, but
Right.
American money is very different. If it was oil money, it would be very crazy. But since it's American, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Right. Right.
yeah, so it's all good. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I respect it. Like, hey, you know, you get talent, you get a manager that knows how to coach, how to manage, and I think by the end of the year, you all be top six. Like, I don't see how this year is like last year, right? Like, the talent
Right.
is there, the cohesion will come, and yeah, it's hard to be that bad 2 years in a row when you have that much skill.
Yeah.
I agree. And like so far, it's only been 4 games. So far, the underlying numbers are pretty solid. Obviously there's kind of a finishing problem. I'm actually kind of thinking that's one area that Cole Palmer can contribute. I obviously I've only seen like a cameo of him so far in a Chelsea uniform, but I liked what I saw in terms of his touches. His technique in tight spaces. I think those all end up being pretty valuable. But yeah, I mean, like between him and Lavia, you spend almost 100 million on two essentially City youth prospects. And I'm sure one thing that City and certainly Chelsea over the years, are discovering or seeing is that the modern player in general, but especially up and coming players, are going to take control of their careers. They have teams and advisors and their agents obviously around them to try to, and it's not just about, oh, well, this is life changing money. Just take, the first offer you get from your home club, for example. No, it's, if I show my stuff in the Premier League, even for a year, especially if I'm English, my price is going to go way up. So I totally agree that, yeah, you can't keep them all. You kind of have to figure out which ones are the real gems worth keeping. Like, Kevin De Bruyne.
It would have been nice.
It
Amongst
would have been.
Salah. I don't know.
Yeah, the most solid one because he went to a few clubs before he leveled up. For
Yeah, so
me,
that's okay. That's more review. Yeah, yeah.
but I would always say when he went on loan to Bundesliga in 2012-13, I and a lot of other Chelsea fans were excited about him. And then we bring Mourinho back, and he's like, I can win if we bring in older, more ready players. And we did that, but was it worth it? I think that's one that like you could go back and forth. I personally no, like I think you should have been able to make something work with Hazard and De Bruyne and Oscar as well, and like
You
that could
would
have been
think.
nice,
Yeah,
but
you would think. Like
yeah.
truly, that's crazy. Um, I wanted to get to the favorite all-time Chelsea and City players, and I was thinking and looking back on it, and it's just Africans for the most part with me. And,
Right?
Pepe, Essien, Drogba, Nelka. I was just like, yeah, those are people. And then I was like, and like Cesc Fabregas, I respected him
Right.
and he's talented, but I never really understood what everyone was crazy about when it came to him.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, he contributed greatly to 2 titles, so I always respect it.
Yeah, of course.
And his first, like, every Chelsea fan remember this assist. His first assist for at the beginning of that 14-15 season, just incredible. But I mean, that's part of the reason why I threw that question in there, because I feel like especially for us, players of the diaspora kind of stand out. So for me, Yaya Toure was a player I had always liked. And y'all signed him in 2010, the same year that we signed Ramirez. Ramirez is cool, right? Solid player for a few years, scored that really important goal versus Barcelona. But to me, I would have loved it if we signed Toure. I mean, 4-time African Football of the Year. He was a finalist in the 13-14 season for Premier League Player of the Year. Like, his technique, his box-to-box abilities, his goal scoring, especially that year, I would have loved to see him in a Chelsea uniform. Vincent Kompany, definitely a favorite. Aguero for sure. And again, another one where he was linked with Chelsea before he signed with City, and then we go and sign Torres. I always wonder, like, what if we signed those players instead of, like, how does that change everything? But
well, and see, you're lucky because these players that you're having what ifs about went on to have pretty solid careers. Where we're tied to, man, we miss we miss Maguire. Man, we barely missed out on Alexis Sanchez at the end of his career. Like the people that we were tied to were never just like, I was never like moved by any of them. And the people that we ended up getting because we fell out, lost all those people, Ruben Diaz and Rodri and all these other people. It's kind of crazy how we have been able to fall into this misfortune, and part of it makes me think that I like that's half the reason why they're being so headstrong in holding firm and not paying too much for a player, just because of the way that it has worked so well. And I think and I've been saying for years, what they're trying to do now is they're showing other clubs they're not punks. You can't play us for fools. Earlier, when we had the money, we really needed these players. Now we'll leave you. We'll leave some people out. If other people maybe get other better deals and stuff like that, it's interesting. It's a little infuriating, but there's a link to a player that we could be bringing in the winter, and that's just very exciting. That's just what we're gonna do. Sharpie.
I want to show some love to this Chelsea player. Man, Eden Hazard was phenomenal to watch in that shirt. That 10 shirt, like, I love just watching him play football. As a man with a hefty lower half, he was an idol. He was someone out there who knew how to use his bum, as others have said, and that close control, that burst of speed, like young Hazard in his before he went to Real, where the injury started, sadly taking everything away. He was unstoppable. Like, that's why Real went to get him. Like, they said, "Oh, you are next. You are the best player in the Premier League. We know that we want you. We know that's your dream club. Come over." And it sucks that injuries took that part of his career away. But with y'all, man, he was magic. Like, those runs he would go on, dribbling past folks, he could shoot, he could do it all. And like, even on the Belgian national team. So I love Hazard. I didn't watch enough of Drogba. Like, I wasn't enough of a fan back then, but I know how great he is. But in my time of being a big PL fan, like, Hazard's my guy.
Yeah. I think that if like the dribbling, take on, or like the shot creating actions, those kind of stats, I think that was more prominent in his prime. He would have been a more admired player. But it was just one of those where it was just the eye test, man. Like, you just loved watching him play.
All right. Well, before we get you out of here, uh, let's do the pick'ems. So pick a team from the
Yes.
top 7 that you sense an upset. So there's Man City versus West Ham,
Yeah.
Tottenham versus Sheffield United, Liverpool versus Wolverhampton, Arsenal versus Everton, Brighton versus Man United, and Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Villa's at home. I feel like that's an easy one. I think Unai Emery's got a thing going there.
Mhm.
I think West Ham will score first, but I think City will probably come back and win that one.
That's fair. I can see that.
But there was one that really jumped out to me. I think was it the Arsenal? No. Wait, hold up. Let me look at the. Oh yeah, whoa, that's right.
Yeah.
So Wolves are at home, and it's an early kickoff, and I feel like that early kickoff, especially coming off an international break, always messes with teams. I'm calling Wolves for the upset.
Ooh, let's go.
All
Wait,
3
straight up
points.
win or like a draw, like drop points. Or we
Win.
talking like win?
Oh,
I'm saying 3-1 Wolves.
Oh my.
That's a lit take. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my goodness, I love it.
Custodian dropping a hammer on these folks.
They
That's
won't be
great.
ready, man.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready. That's me right now. I'm like, whoa.
That
good,
is
though. That's what we need. It's the
great.
content we need. I wish we could clip this. That's incredible.
I'm going to.
Man, if I'm right about this, I'm playing Lotto.
Damn right. Yeah, as well you should.
Oh, yeah, let's go. All right. Well, please plug yourself, plug anything that you're up to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find me on the socials, mainly Twitter. I'm gonna still call it Twitter and Instagram. It's if you're watching, it's my handle. If not, it's Nichols Odeon, NichollsOdeon. I also contribute to Atlanta United Fan TV and For the Culture. Was part of the 2 Cents Network. So
Yes.
yeah, man, nothing but love. Always down to support a fellow Black content creators. So really appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to link up with FTC soon. Like, however, like I said, we do live streams we've been doing one a month. So if there's a match coming up and you guys aren't going anywhere, or if we're at whatever teams, or even just recording an episode, if anything pops up, any ideas, please feel comfortable reaching out.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right, cool. All right, see you, homie.
Thanks, homie. Peace.
Hey, okay. So our third and final guest is bringing it back around. So Bido Banter Pod, big fans. I think this is 2 weeks in a row we actually had Bido Banter on. Yeah, I mean, luckily there's 3 of you guys, so there won't be a third week in a row, unfortunately, but we have to get your third person on, which oddly enough, I think it's the same name as yours, just with 2 G's, if I'm right. But this is Greg.
What up, y'all? Thanks for
How's it
having
going,
me.
homie? And it's so nice to see your name.
Yeah, absolutely. I got it figured out this time. Now I can
Some
use the
fifth wall
microphone
stuff.
and the headphones, and it doesn't sound bad.
There we go.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's Patrick, me, Greg, and George.
George.
That's all right.
Yeah, you can have him on, but he's a Chelsea fan. So
Boo. Obviously, with our previous guests, we're okay with Chelsea fans.
I feel like you've done your part for Chelsea for a while.
We've enough Chelsea propaganda on here. It's that's why I like starting with a City fan. I feel like there are a couple of weeks where our shows get kind of City heavy with guests, and that was my fault. I just message a bunch of people and I'm like, hey, hop on, and whoever answers first. It is what it is. But I like having the clash, because usually people get to come on and then they're like, oh, we get a City fan, so now we can talk shit about this other club. And it's like, yeah, let's talk shit about them. Especially because with City fans, we tend to hear other, I guess, City-centric things that we tend to hate on about other clubs that revolve around City. So it's very interesting to hear why other people from other clubs hate other clubs. So it's nice.
That's funny. That took me a second to understand it, but
It came together. That's you
Sure
used to
did.
crunk. You let it land. You got to let it finish.
Let me land.
And then it's like, oh, I got it. Every time.
Yeah.
Craig, first off, let us know a little bit about yourself, bit of banter, how you became a City fan.
So I'm actually going to drop a bit of a bomb on you.
Oh,
I'm a very recent football fan.
well, that's fine.
I'll tell you, and this is actually a little bit kind of teasing what I had planned to talk about, which is what I really enjoy about sporting, whether it's football, whether it's American football, baseball, whatever it may be. It's about the idea that you can remove yourself from how fucked up the world is for an hour, 2 hours, 90 minutes, however long, you can just forget, and you can watch some guys chase a ball up and down a field. And like it when you put it like that, it really doesn't matter. But when you think about how much people care about it, that's what makes it so important. And that's what makes the fact that sports are relatively simplistic, yet so very complex at the same time. So that's part of what got me into it, is watching it with Patrick, who's my music producer also. We went to a football match down here in Tucson, where I'm from, Arizona. And we had a freaking blast. It was so much fun. We had so much fun at that. We were just screaming. And I didn't really know a damn thing about anything. Because when I was a kid, I was terrible. Yes, FC Tucson. I was terribly uncoordinated, so I wasn't allowed to do any sports because I fucking broke my bones. I messed it up bad. So I was very uncoordinated. Hence, when I went into music, so I never really got into football or soccer, baseball, anything like that. And so it was more about doing it with other people for me. So from there, I started watching City matches with Patrick, and he gets way fucking into it, man. I'm gonna tell you. Watching him is almost as fun as watching the matches. But then we decided to start a podcast about it, and Patrick liked how I just kind of talk about random shit all the time. So that's the banter portion of Bit O Banter. I get about 10 minutes at the end of the show to just talk about random shit. And
I love it.
Yeah. So that's basically how it is. Now, the team that I am currently supporting this season is Brighton. And if Brighton wins, or I don't remember what it was, if they finish in a certain position in the standings at the end of the season, I'll continue to support them. But to be honest with you, I do like the light blue. I'm a big fan of blue.
And who doesn't like Amex?
And exactly, and it's fun to support the winners.
Mm-hmm. Ain't it though?
They just won.
Oh, amen. Preach.
And Patrick hasn't shut the fuck up about it, saying frankly. Which good for him,
baby. Okay. So you kind of glossed over this. I guess I never knew this about Patrick. Music producer. You make music?
Yeah, we make music together.
What type of music? How long? Like this is more interesting. I think.
Right here, burying the lead is just like fuck football.
Yeah.
Like what is going on right now?
Well, so Patrick is actually used to be like a professional touring musician, and then he just decided to get more into the production side of things. And he was out playing somewhere, and he met my lead guitar player in my band, and they got to be friends. But sometimes my lead guitar player is a little bit difficult to interact with and be around. He can be a bit much, frankly. So he would come down from Phoenix, because Patrick lives up in Phoenix, and he would come down and we would just hang out, and we became freaking like really good friends very quickly. And so we make music. We just completed an album, a full-length album for the band. Island, and it just dropped in July or August. I don't fucking remember. No, it was August is when it dropped. And Patrick and I have been working on more of kind of my solo stuff and stuff that they had backlogged because he lives with another incredible producer called Brandon, and yeah, we make some incredible tunes. We like it. It's kind of like alternative rock, but we kind of dabble in a lot of things. You know how people say, "Oh, I love all music." We freaking do. We love
Okay,
all
so
music.
what's the name?
Midnight Island.
Oh, that's a fun name.
I like it. It's mysterious. It gets you thinking.
Yeah.
Midnight Island.
You know, that's actually the nicest compliment I've ever gotten about the name of the band. To be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of it. But it's kind of too late. The trains left the station. We dropped a full length album, like 11-song album. So
It's done. What's done is done.
it's done.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So yeah.
I mean, maybe there was somebody on like the Rolling Stones that really wasn't a fan. Like they were, I guess, or like there's a member of Coldplay that's like Coldplay. What the fuck is that? You know, like hey, it all happens.
Yeah. As long as people enjoy listening to us play. That's
Okay.
Can I answer Greg's topic? Because I've been thinking about it ever since I saw the doc.
Yeah. This is so interesting to me. This is freaking awesome. Please.
So you said, I just want to say it for the people, what does sport and more specifically football mean to you? Why do you enjoy it? What's the point? And like, the more I think about this, because I got into football because of mainly Barca and like 29, like when Messi was on his crazy run, I would just see the highlights, love him. And then the Spain 3 trophies in a row. When they did Euro, World Cup Euro, I was just like, this is the best thing ever. This is the most beautiful sport in the world. And then I picked up City along the way. But I think it truly is to me the beautiful game. Like I'm a nerd. And so like the tactics of it, how you play the game is so interesting to me because it really is like, it's watching chess and every manager is a chess player. And it's like, how am I going to position my pieces on the board? These 10 outfield players, even my keeper, right? How am I going to use him to really dominate this game and to make you suffocate and to just like, or take away what you do really well. And so I think every matchup, like when we talk about these matchups this week, like, let me see this list. I wouldn't be shocked if Sheffield United beat Spurs. None of us would because they're Spurs. But like the upset is easy to happen than it is in another sport. Like you can only get so many times where like, I don't know, the Denver Nuggets are going to lose to the Charlotte Hornets, right? Like the Denver Nuggets are just better in basketball or in American football, right? Like the best teams win. But when you get to like football, anything can happen. A 0-0 draw is some clubs, and that's just you can't get that in other sports because it has to be a winner and a loser. So like even the element of a draw just adds intrigue and excitement. And how do we get enough points to win? And are they going to catch us? And like these races are just so incredible. So yeah, like the passion, the tactics, the chess game within it all like it keeps me coming back. And I love this. I tell people all the time, soccer or football is my favorite sport to watch now. I know it's no commercials in the middle of it. You just watch a half, take a break, watch another half. You're done in 2 hours. Like I love that. So like, yeah, this sport is beautiful.
That's fucking fascinating, bro. That was really insightful too. Yeah, right. That's the kind of stuff that I would never think about because I just see people running around and I know there's strategy to it. Yeah. I know that there's like different sort of defenses and different ways that you have your players up and down the field, but that's fucking awesome. Really interesting.
Just one big nerd over here. That's all I am. I'm just a nerd.
No, I get it, dude. I get it. 100%.
Yeah. See, and I played rugby growing up. I played it for a decade or so, and what I loved about the rugby. Yes, the sport was fun, but it is the connection you have with your teammates, and it's very similar in football, soccer. That it's not in American football. It's not really in basketball. There's just like this camaraderie. There's the need to be a team because one person off can truly just tank everything. Obviously, the hooliganism, the debauchery, the partying, and all that stuff, that was always super fun for me when I was getting older and growing. And from there, when it transitioned to football, it was kind of same. I love the energy. I love watching teams play. I love watching continuity and how things build, the mindset of the managers. I like the tactics, I guess. How the players line up isn't necessarily what I care about, but it's how and what they do in that setup. Because I can't tell you who's where and why they're going there to take advantage of what. I can't tell you any of that stuff. But like how it fits, if it makes sense, if it's reactionary, like there are things in the things that I guess I understand. And really within these last few years of doing the show, I don't know, I guess because it's just through Twitter and I'm in Eastern Iowa, so I don't really have football buddies to just banter with and chat back and forth with. So I just kind of thought I was just this crazy person who, have thoughts on football, but who really cared. And if anything that I was saying was making sense. So it's really nice to be in this group and really build this community to kind of understand none of it is as serious as I have it in my head. And it's just fun to chat and I am now getting, it's the culture. It's the fandom. That's really what I've always cared about, and even what I try to focus on, and even what I'll continue to focus on in the future is, I guess, the fandom aspect, and even from the player aspect, their connection with each other.
Yeah,
That was beautiful, Carl.
Yeah, it was definitely beautiful and insightful.
This is definitely the most insightful moment we've had on this. Like,
1,000%.
It's beautiful. Like, it's very introspective. I'm like getting really deep in thought, kind of emotional a little bit. I love it.
I know. I didn't even see your question. So when it was like, when Sharpie was like, I've been thinking, and I was like, thinking about what? This is just like football stuff. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, that's great. Yeah, mine started, I worked at this grocery store called Hy-Vee. And during my breaks, there was a World Cup. I can't remember what it was, but I was super young. And I just remember watching it. And I always watched it, but I just watched like the random clubs, or I liked a player. But that was the first time that I actually saw teams are different. Players are different. Their styles are different. And then I was just like, oh. And just ever since then, I've dove more and more, especially being a rugby person when we were young. And there are still some rugby people where they're just like, soccer's for pansies and all that other nonsense. And I had that stupid thought. And then I actually watched like the World Cup, and you see these dudes clashing. And I think that might have been Zinedine where he headbutted a dude. It was just like,
06. Yes, sir.
You can't say that this is like weak stuff. Like there's at all. This is the most insane, brutal, manly, dope stuff. How can I not love this as someone who loves running into people? It's great.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Rugby is fucking brutal.
Yeah, it is.
It's fucking brutal by far and away.
Controlled violence for sure.
One of the most brutal sports. I've never played that. I would say it's probably that and hockey are pretty, close in terms of like people getting fucked up. But I mean, then you have like professional pillow fighting, dude, on ESPN 8. I was at a bar like a month ago, and that was on, and they had like pillows with like handles on them. And they were it's like some sort of strategy. I don't know how does it a point system? Like,
I don't know.
Is it a clean hit? It made no sense. And they were into it. They had corners, and they had like corner coaches like, all right, you're gonna fuck them up. You're gonna hit them with the left. You're gonna hit. Oh, it's wild. So see, that's kind of.
I love it.
That kind of segues into why I wanted to bring it up, because that's how I feel about it. Like what you were saying, Crunk, at the end there about the fandom and the togetherness, and the fact that when you're, just being a fan of any sport, specifically football, for the sake of this conversation, because let's be fair, football fans are fucking nuts, man. Like you think like Raiders fans or like Cowboys fans or those guys get crazy, but dude, football fans like over there across the pond, they get wild. Like, and the chants are so fun too. Like, I cannot wait.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to a Premier League match at some point in my life.
Yeah.
That's
That again, the chance playing rugby. I legitimately sung a song called Long Black Sausage. It was incredibly offensive, and I would 1000% get canceled saying the song nowadays. But that was just like the thing. And drinking beer from a boot. Have you ever seen 10 tons of titties? Like, that's what I've seen doing rugby. It's just the experiences I've had. There was a yearly rugby tournament that we went to, and they did pig roasts and the pigs would slowly roast through the 3-day tournament. And on the final day, like, they would just cut the pigs and we would just start eating. And this guy handed me just right off the pig the most gorgeous slab of bacon. So I'm just like in my shorts with a bunch of beer and just a slab of bacon, just destroying it and passing out in a tent. It was super simple. It was just fun, relaxed. People were just in it for the moment. And I guess I tie my relationship with rugby to soccer, because now that I'm not playing, I still want to find that connection, get that camaraderie either way. And that's where I am here doing this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. When you said that bacon, I just started thinking about how fucking delicious that was.
Oh my god, my brain exploded. He just like cut it off and handed it to me, and I was like, "Wait, this is big."
I didn't know you could do that. Like, I'm like, wow, that's real.
We slice it up because we're stupid and we need to sell it in a certain way. But if you wanted to, you can make like a bacon steak.
Yeah, that pit roast. That's I had emu like that when I went to Hawaii one time. Oh my god.
Quality
so
bird.
Delicious. Wow. It was really good.
Okay.
It was like shredded. Oh.
Now we're getting to a food cast. I made this super.
Yeah. Now we're outside of my purview. This is right here.
Like food, I know. I love it. Oh man. Shoot. I guess before we get you out of here and we end the show, let's get your upset pick. So pick a team that is playing from the top 7 this weekend, and who do you think would potentially lose? Do you want me to say the teams over again, or
no? I got it pulled up right here. Cool. I see it.
Perfect. Yeah.
I've thought about this, and I think as much as I'm supporting Brighton, and I freaking hate United, I think that Brighton has been on borrowed time a bit. Because they are fucking killing it. Let's be honest with you. Matoma's killing it. Welbeck's doing pretty good.
Ferguson.
Their keeper, I can't even fucking remember what his name is.
They just switched it, right? Isn't it a new guy? It's not Jason Steele anymore, right?
It was him for like a couple. I don't know. It was him for a bit, and I don't know what his name is now. But anyway,
new guy.
They've been playing really well. But when they play fucking Luton, they didn't look as good as they needed to. Like Luton looked like fucking deer in headlights. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, they do every match.
but I feel like they were not going to do so hot against. Like, I mean, I was really surprised who they played last week. Newcastle. Newcastle was fucking killing it at the beginning, weren't they?
Yeah.
And now they like beat them like pretty solidly. But I think that United might take Brighton.
Are you even with the whole Anthony news being dropped and all this nonsense about Onana and then Erik ten Hag's fragility?
I get a gut feeling. It's a gut feeling thing for me.
Hey, you know that's how it works. Yeah, that's how it works.
And that's I may be wrong, and I hope I am wrong, because I kind of like Brighton. I like their kit, and you know what? Actually, that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about too, real quick. Is I just wanted to say the worst kits in the league.
Yeah,
freaking Liverpool. It's too red. I don't like
it. Too much red. I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed.
Red is like the color, like stop, and with the complexion of my skin, my like face is kind of red a little bit. My hair's kind of red, so red does not fucking look good on me as a color. So, like, I've never been a huge fan of it, to be honest with you, but I do like the from Liverpool, so it's hard. If they could just like tone it down, like a little bit of white in there, you know what I'm saying? Like tone that freaking angry ass red down a
It
tiny
is an
bit.
angry red. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my take on kids. That's the one thing that I fucking can talk about is clothes.
There we
Oh, I
go.
love
A
it.
man of fashion. I stand.
And I enjoy Brighton's kit. It's nothing fancy, but it's just really clean. It feels luxurious. Something about it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like how thick they made the bars on it, but just something about it just seems fancier than their normal shirts. And it's like, yeah, no, they're really getting that Amex money,
Yeah, for sure. Amex just freaking makes up their own money.
right?
Crazy.
All right, well, sir, please plug yourself, plug all of your things, do all of it right now.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us on. Patrick last week, me on this week, and possibly George in the future. We are
Yes.
Bit O Banter Pod. We usually release a new episode on Mondays or Tuesdays, depending on, when we get around to editing and recording and all of that. It is Bit O Banter Pod on Instagram and on X and on Twitter, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I always make fun of Patrick because he says Twitter. And then if you're interested in listening to the music, Midnight Island on Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Thank you guys so much for having us on. I was a little bit nervous because I don't really know shit about football, to be perfectly honest with you guys, but this was a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I always tell people even if we have you on as like a guest, we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to geek out. Like it's not really that serious, especially this Let's Stream. We're here for vibes. It's a good time. We just want you guys to feel comfortable. You're coming up to our space. I want you guys to enjoy
Is this
yourselves.
it right here? Sorry, Crump. Is this Midnight Island on Spotify?
That's it. Yes,
All
sir.
right, there we go. I will follow right now.
I
Hey.
appreciate you, man.
Hey,
Thank you.
I'm-
I was listening to your. I caught I drive around for work all day, like in the car. So I was just on Apple Podcasts. I was just one after another listening to your guys' shit. It's good shit, man.
Thanks,
Interesting.
man.
I got excited to come on here because Patrick kind of told me about this, but he didn't tell me what it was. Or,
Sounds about right.
Like who it was. So I didn't know like how to listen to you guys or anything like that. And then today he said it to me, so I just listened to it in the car. It's good shit, man. Thanks for
Yeah,
having
Thanks
us.
so
on.
much,
Appreciate
man.
it. Yeah, I mean, I listen to you guys. Very big fan of you guys. It's, I'm gonna be listening to this Midnight Island later tonight when I'm editing. So yeah,
Appreciate you.
cheers. You have a good rest of your night, homie.
Thanks so much, guys.
Take care, Greg.
Take care.
Hey, well, appreciate you guys. FanFest Live, Twitter, YouTube. It's been such a good time. Shout out to our guests, DT3, Nickelodeon. Dang it. No,
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. And Greg. And also shout out to Midnight Island. Oh, okay. We
Gotta
out
get the
here.
vibes right. The all rock vibes. Wait, Crump, who's your pick, bro? Before we get off, who's your upset pick?
I actually do think Tottenham's gonna lose. Richarlison is still struggling. Yeah, they can't keep this energy up. They just can't.
I think Villa's just better than Palace.
Yes.
And
That's
it's not
why
like
I
Palace
don't-
is bad. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
choose Villa just because like I think they finding their groove now. After the last couple matches. I haven't like been up on everything with like injuries and who got hurt over the break and other than City stuff. So like we'll see when the lineups drop, but that wouldn't shock me at all. I also hope that Man United and Brighton draw. I just think that'd be great I just want to have distance from people now. Like Kyle Walker said, let's go get it early. So let's build this lead. Let's get our 3 points, take care of business, and get back to winning trophies. What we do.
Let's go. All right. Well, I am Crunk Chocolate. This is the Sharpie. Words of my dad, Richardson. It's in her. I mean, it's a shock. It's bound to happen. I'm surprised. Maybe the inspiration that Kane is leaving has inspired Mans to be the healthiest he's ever done. Maybe he's doing like Pilates and yoga and shit now.
I hope so.
I am Crunk Chocolate. This is the Sharpie Charlie, the man, the myth, the legend. We are Shades of Blue. We will see
Saturday
you guys
live?
Saturday. Normally we would do just like 30 minutes before. I ain't got nothing going on, Sharpie. If you just want to hop on 30 minutes before, because I told the dude the time is set, so we're gonna start an hour before.
Okay. Yeah.
It'll just be hangs, whatever. It's just gonna be loose hangs. We're gonna do a live watch along for Man City versus West Ham. We will be having West Ham Way USA. That's how I remembered it. West Ham Way USA podcast. They're gonna hop on. Hopefully, they'll bring a few of their own other West Ham people with. There's a few people on their podcast. I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable because there's multiple of us, and then just be one of him. And we're great guests, but also if we want to celebrate or talk some smack, I don't want him to feel like he's outnumbered. So it is what it is.
We'll see the guy that couldn't come to City. So this is where we're doing this with Paquetá.
All right, cheers. I need to make a new drink, so I'm gonna get out of here.
I'm gonna go buy some, y'all. Y'all be good. Shady game, baby.